New developments, the district attorneys filed hate crime charges against the man caught on camera harassing an Action News Now reporter.
We're tracking a summer rainstorm moving across our region, what you can expect where you live.
But first, could we see local inmates shipped out of county to solve a jail capacity problem? We show you what local leaders have planned.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, a man is in custody tonight after an hour-long standoff with Chico police.
Yeah, the police department took the unnamed suspect into custody. They say that he was involved in a felony assault case. Now here's a picture from the scene. Police say that the suspect ran from officers, leading to an hour-long standoff in the area of Tykert Ponds. Officials say that officers found that suspect hiding under heavy vegetation in the water there. Police are still investigating, and we're going to keep you updated on air and online as we work to learn more. And we're tracking clouds overhead, rain moving into our area. Pretty wild.
Sade Pullen is in weather for us tonight, tracking those conditions. What's the very latest, Sade?
Yeah, so this is a look on our threat of some thunderstorms. This shaded green is showing the areas that are possibly going to be affected in the late afternoon, going towards our evening for tonight. Even Chico is represented in this green as well, as you can see, and some of Redding and Red Bluff. Now, as for our temperatures right now, we are looking in the 70s to 80s across the valley. 77 degrees in Chico. It's looking pretty cloudy. For our foothills, we are looking in the lower 70s, and then we have our mountains in the mid 60s range. This is a look at our futurecast. This shows 7 p.m. We do have a little bit of some rain coming into the Red Bluff, Redding area. Same with the Mount Shasta region. Chico area is going to be mostly cloudy for tonight. This shows 8 p.m., even more activity. By 9 p.m., we're looking at some more clouds coming in, and then a little bit overnight into the early morning hours of Wednesday, that rain starts to subside, but mostly make its way towards Redding. And then by 8 a.m., we're looking at even more rainy conditions and some more clouds coming in. Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks, Sade.
New tonight, an Oroville woman was sentenced to 35 years to life in prison for murdering her husband. Jessica Rose Nichols admitted to using a gun to execute Mateo Lang in November 2020. It happened as he slept in their home on Grand Avenue. Nichols had previously tried to kill her husband by poisoning his pillow. The couple's son was 1.5 years old at the time of the murder.
The Butte County Sheriff's Office released new details today about the arrest of a student at Paradise High yesterday that caused a brief lockdown. They say the team pulled out a gun and fired it during an altercation Saturday at a remote swimming area off Big Bend Road in Concow. Investigators say physical evidence and video surveillance led to the teen suspect at Paradise High. That suspect was booked into Butte County Juvenile Hall on multiple charges.
New developments. The man accused of harassing Action News Now reporter Nathan Espindola while he was reporting on the scene is now being charged with a hate crime. Butte County District Attorney Mike Ramsey is charging Keanu Seichow with one felony count of damaging property based at least in part on the other person's race. We showed you last week when the incident occurred and Nathan captured it on video. A warning though, this footage contains racially offensive remarks and some profanity too.
What did you call me?
A wetback beaner. Roll me a burrito. Mow my lawn, bitch.
Nathan locked himself in the news car for safety, and he called the police, who contacted Seichow after Nathan reported what he felt were threats against him. Seichow was initially arrested for vandalism for breaking one of our cameras, but the DA elevated this crime to a hate crime.
New at 6, an Oroville woman has been arrested on felony charges of elder abuse. The Butte County Sheriff's detectives say that they were called to a local hospital where the elderly victim was being treated for numerous injuries. Deputies arrested 46-year-old Desiree Herrera of Oroville and say the abuse had been ongoing. Herrera is charged with assault, elder abuse, battery with serious bodily injury, preventing or dissuading a victim.
Starting next month, some Shasta County jail inmates will be transferred out of the area. Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield breaks down the plan.
Starting October 1st, some inmates will be moved from the Shasta County Jail in downtown Redding to the Solano County Jail in Vallejo. The Sheriff's Office will pay Solano County $169 a day to house inmates for the first year, nearly $62,000 in total. Routine medical services will be paid for by Solano County, while all outside medical services will be covered by Shasta County. In addition, all transportation fees to and from Solano County will be paid for by Shasta County. The $400,000 agreement will start next month and run through June 30th, 2028. Shasta County Sheriff's Office spokesman Tim Mapes says sending inmates to other counties when a jail is full is a standard procedure. Additionally, he says that the agreement ensures the Sheriff's Office can manage the jail's population levels safely. Reporting in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
In July, the Shasta County Sheriff's Office closed one level of the jail for upgrades to security cameras, fire alarms, and intercoms. They also reduced the jail population by 80 inmates for this project.
New details. The National Transportation Safety Board is providing more information about the deadly plane crash in Missouri that killed a well-known Chico businessman and his wife. A preliminary report released today says the altitude of the small plane carrying Mark and Vicky Speltz was lower than normal and continued to descend before the plane crashed in Mosby, Missouri. Investigators say an eyewitness reported the plane's left wing actually dipped down, then returned level, then dipped again. They say the plane then rolled left and then it crashed into a soybean field where it erupted into flames. Butte College offers bus services for students, but some say it's unreliable and they say they've been left stranded. Action News Now reporter Bea Barbosa shows us how the transportation challenge is creating a big hurdle for some students.
For many Butte College students, the school bus is their only way to get to class. But what happens when the bus doesn't come to you? Tara Ogle, a recent Butte College alum from Paradise, says that for her daughter, it means taking the public beeline from Paradise to Chico to catch the connecting Butte College bus, a long commute that sometimes has 4 or 5 hour gaps between drop-off and pickup, which Ogle says frustrated both her and her daughter. She says it ultimately led to her daughter dropping out of Butte College.
The buses are supposed to be there for people who can't drive, don't have driver's licenses. It's for the community college is supposed to be accessible for people who are lower income or for everybody, and it's just not working out that way.
But it's not just Ogle and her family who have had trouble with long wait times. Many students I spoke with say they've waited for their bus for hours.
Celia Capulan says she has been commuting from Paradise to Butte College for 3 weeks now and calls the difficult commute a frustrating education barrier.
I'm fresh out of high school. I don't know the bus system, so it's kind of scary that if I get on the wrong bus and then I don't make it to the Chico campus and then I miss my Butte bus and I won't have a way to come to class, or my Beeline bus leaves me and I have no way to get home if no one's available to pick me up.
But Ogle says she hopes to see a change.
I understand it's expensive. I understand there's a shortage of bus drivers, but we really need to do better by these students, especially in the rural areas. I mean, we're all in a rural area. We all know that it takes a long time to get from point A to point B. So I'd really like to see those services expanded.
A change that Butte College officials have told me they are open to, though they do not have any current plans to address this particular challenge. In Butte County, Bea Barbosa, Action News Now.
Butte College officials say they're continually reevaluating the bus service to see if it meets the needs of students, and they're urging those who are having trouble with the bus routes to call the transportation department for help.
Police arrested a woman who they say tried to start a fire near Fall River High School in MacArthur. Shasta Sheriff's deputies say they raced out after getting a call about a woman trying to light a paper on fire in a dry fields there. They say 65-year-old Deborah Parker drove away as a school employee approached, and the employee extinguished the flames. Deputies caught up with Parker, and they say she admitted to trying to light that field on fire, so they arrested her for attempted arson. Today marks the 175th anniversary of California becoming a state, and several events happened around our area to mark this occasion. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe highlights how our local history is tied to the whole state in more ways than one.
The Liberty Pole in downtown Orrville on Montgomery Street is an iconic symbol here in Orrville. But the flag here wasn't flying the past few days.
also last week we had that windstorm that came through and that blew the rope off of the top of the pole. And so we've been waiting on that truck that's behind us to come out of the shop.
Councilmember Sean Weber says the city needed CAL FIRE's ladder truck to make the repair to the top of the pole, but that couldn't happen until now.
They went up, they reattached the rope to the top of the pole, to the Liberty pole, and then they lowered down and then they hoisted the colors.
Due to the damages, we heard some concerns that the flag wouldn't be flying today. And after doing a little digging myself, literally, I understand why. This Liberty Pole is actually a memorial to the first Liberty Pole in the West, which was established right here in Orrville in 1857. So it would have been a bummer not to have a flag up there of all days. But that wasn't the only bit of history I learned on California's Admission Day. Also happening was a small celebration at the Chico History Museum, highlighting the importance of the state's admission to the Union due to the Compromise of 1850 and John Bidwell's role in advocating for it.
Pretty familiar story of John Bidwell going back to Washington, helping to lobby for statehood, and then coming back and actually delivering the news to the West Coast in October of 1850.
If you're curious about local history or California history, stopping by your local historical society or museum is a great way to learn more. Reporting in Butte County, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
The Liberty Pole in Orrville is a replica of the original and was re-erected at that spot in 1977 for the 200th anniversary of the American flag.